Okay, so again, you're asking me to assume a position, okay? I am not assuming that position.
I'm
Do
not.
I
I'm
think it
not
is
assuming a question.
right?
It's a moral
Do you
question.
think
Is it right
do you
to
think
kick
it's
people out of their homes and kill them because of a purchase that was made by somebody that was not them? Is that morally okay?
again, no, but I don't
There you
assume that
go.
position. This is
What do you
this
mean?
is
I'm not
what you're
assume
doing. You're
assume what
forcing
I'm not.
somebody to
I'm
assume
asking you
a
a moral
position.
question.
Okay,
I'm not
I'm
asking you to
trying
assume any
to answer
position.
you.
I'm not assuming any position. There's no positions assumed. I asked you a moral question. Is it okay to
Okay,
kill
great.
people and kick them out of their homes because of a purchase that they didn't make? You said no. Let's move on to October 7th now, right?
No, I want to be able to. At what point do I get to ask or answer some questions? Like you're just asking me questions. You're forcing just one position. You're
Mhm.
saying, "Oh, because he specifically bought the land, is it okay?" No, I think it's okay to when someone wages war against you. I think it's totally okay to defend yourselves, and if that leads to displacement and people
Mhm.
dying
Well, now
on
we
both
know
sides,
why.
that
If
happens.
you believe that was morally
That's what
wrong,
I think is
if
okay.
you that believe that was morally wrong and that they were kicked out and that they were killed because of something that they were not involved in, and you believe that that's wrong, then you can
They
understand
were
why.
involved. The Arab Liberation Army was made up of what you would call Palestinians. They didn't call
Okay,
themselves Palestinians then, but
not the
what you would call
people,
them.
and they weren't responsible for that. So you agree that that's morally wrong. Let's talk about
No.
today because this is going on. So you have the Iran flag, you have the Israeli flag. You're representing. You're not even Jewish, and you're representing the Jewish state of Israel. You side with
Mhm.
them, right? The people that call you goy, they don't practice usury the same way with you. You are here shilling for a country that believes that in the end
Dude, you're
times.
Muslim. Don't get started. You're Muslim. You think you
I will
guys
get
treat the
started.
kafir.
I will get started.
Yeah,
I
I
support my
listen.
people.
Yeah,
I support
this
my people. You're supporting
right.
people that call you goyim, that don't think that they can practice the same banking with
Mhm.
themselves that they practice with you. Yet here you are shilling for the state that you believe started off of a moral incorrection, even though they also believe in the
I
Talmud and
don't
rabbis
think
are.
that. So once again, I want to make it sure I don't think that at all.
You said it was morally
You
wrong.
think I think that because you're trying. No,
No,
I
you
said your
just said so.
hypothetical.
It's not a
No, I said
hypothetical.
your forced hypothetical. Great. I said your forced hypothetical. If you're forcing me into that
Not a
position, I can say
hypothetical.
certain things
It
about
was
that
not a
being wrong.
hypothetical.
No,
It was
I
a
do
moral
think
question.
so. That's why you keep cutting me off and you don't want me to answer why you're wrong and what actually
Not,
happened.
it's
You're
not a
cutting me off because
hypothetical.
you're saying,
It wasn't
do you
assuming a
think?
position. I said, is that morally wrong? You said, yes, it's morally wrong. Now
No,
you're
that's not morally
supporting.
wrong.
Okay, but I'm looking at. I don't know you. You have the flags
So
behind you,
that being
and you said it. Hold on. You
right.
started off by saying that you support the state of Israel, the Jewish state of Israel, right? And you're not Jewish.
Mhm,
Okay. These people
right.
think that you are
I guess I
goyim.
should support Muslims.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. These people think you're goyim, and they think that they're going to have 2,800 goyim slaves when their Messiah comes. Why do you support these
Mhm.
people, especially if you believe in their right to exist as a religious ethno state? Why do you support them if they believe that you're subhuman?
So I'm not a leftist. I don't know if you are or not. I
I
don't know
didn't
what your
know.
position is
There's no
politically.
right, left.
I don't.
I
I
don't
don't
believe in
really
that. I'm
do this
Muslim.
like. I got you. Yeah. Yeah. Let's talk about what you guys believe about the kufar. But anyways, I don't believe in this whole like, oh, it's an ethno state. Like, dude, that kind of buzzwords isn't gonna work on me. I'm sure a lot of leftists that probably works. Doesn't work on me at
No.
all. Most countries in the world would, by your weird definition of ethno state, would be an ethno state, other
Is
than maybe like
Judaism an
some
ethnicity?
multicultural states. Judaism or Jewish?
Is Jewish an ethnicity?
Jewish is an colloquially is called an ethno religion. I don't really like the term. I would say it is a tribe of people, a nation, if you will. But sure, ethno religion is what they colloquially call it today.
Right. So you just said that you don't believe it's an ethno state, and so you do or you don't believe it's an ethno state?
I think there's a lot of ethnicities that doesn't make something an ethno state. You just asked me, are Jews an ethnicity?
Are they?
20% of the population are Arabs. Another 5% are non-Jewish,
That's
non-Arabs.
true.
One in every four person you see in
That's
Israel
true.
are not Jewish.
Okay, but
I'm sorry, what?
Judaism is an ethno religion.
What? Yeah, Jews are an ethno religion.
Okay, so you support this, and you're not that ethnicity, you're not that religion, and they also believe that you will be enslaved because you're a goyim. You understand that?
Yeah, so that's a Notori Karta belief, and it's an extremely fringe group that most Jews, including other religious Jews, condemn. So you're asking me to go off of this based off of a fringe group that's less than 1%. This is like me saying all Muslims must be Al Qaeda or the Taliban, and they think this, so Sneako must
No,
think it too. That's how ridiculous you
Al
sound.
Qaeda, Al Qaeda, that's separate from the Taliban. This is CIA funded, just like ISIS. This is a separate conversation, not representative of
I
the
didn't
religion.
even.
And if you okay, so fair,
Point.
you're gonna say that not
Are
all
you
Jews.
saying they're not?
Hmm?
Are you saying they're not? Are you saying they're not Muslim? Regardless if you think they're funded by one group or not,
ISIS,
I don't
Al
really
Qaeda,
care. Are they Muslim?
ISIS and
Yeah.
Al Qaeda? No.
Okay. Fine, but that's my point because you don't agree with their beliefs, correct? You don't think their beliefs represent Islam?
Right. That them as a group and their actions, what they're doing, they are clearly funded by CIA and Mossad. This stuff has been proven. So
Okay, how about Boko Haram? Are they also funded by CIA or Mossad or both?
I haven't looked that up. But you brought
Okay,
up Al
fine.
Qaeda.
How about
You
Boko
brought up Al Qaeda. Hold on.
I understand.
We're going off on tangents, right? The question
No,
was.
I'm saying your point about Naturi Karta, who you're quoting and trying to apply it to Judaism as a whole, is like me saying, fine, I won't use Al Qaeda. I'll say Boko Haram.
And I'm following your
or
line of
pick
logic.
one.
I'm saying, so if you think it's fringe groups that believe that the Goyim will be slaves and they'll have 2,800, fine. What's believed in the Torah, right? Because you also agree that this is the word of God and this is true to them. They
Torah,
say,
yeah.
okay, in the Torah, it states that they will not practice the same type of banking with Goyim, that they practice with each other. So they don't charge interest on loans between each other, but to you, they do. Do you agree with that?
Okay, yeah, I'll answer that. So that's actually not really the context of the Torah, but I will answer it so I don't go off on a different topic because I know you don't like that. So I don't particularly care about what people who I don't even believe in their religion think. I care about their action, right? I don't believe in Islam. I don't believe in Judaism. Yes, I believe in some things because, like you said, I believe it's the word of God, but like I don't follow the Talmud. I don't believe in it. That's rabbinical Judaism. That's for them. The Quran is for Islam.
Agreed.
Christians, they follow the New Testament. So
Yep.
when you ask me, like, well, this one verse says this, I don't really particularly care. Now, if they're doing it to me and there's actions today that I can see, then I'd be more than glad to. They've never done it to me, so I can't comment on it.
Right now. And the same people who purchased the land from England, the Rothschild family, they predominantly control the central bank system. And this is how that system works for them, right? Christians and Muslims did not practice usury within each other. It's forbidden in those religions. Jews believe that this is something that they can do. This type of banking and this type of money that they make, interest on loans, this is how the Rothschild family became so successful.
So Christians don't do that today, or Muslims, they don't do that today.
They weren't doing it. Muslims don't. I mean, people have corrupted it, but at the time when Israel, even before it was founded, especially in Europe.
Ask one more time. Do they do that today?
Yeah,
because I asked you about today. I said
Muslims and
okay,
Christians
great.
are involved in that type of banking, but this belief is what created the central bank system that we're all a part of. That's how the Rothschild family made the money in order to buy the land that you're supporting. Do you think it's right for them to believe that
sure. I don't disagree with people purchasing stuff. And if there is a legal purchase, I don't care if you're Jew, Christian, Muslim. Dude, Arabs were purchasing the land too. Arabs during the Russo-Turkish wars, there was so many Muslims that moved into Anatolia and the Levant after. I'm not going to criticize them either because that's what people did. Mm-hmm. Again, you're trying to use today by keep going back to 1948.
No. But I'm talking about what's happening now, right? So they maintain so much power, and that land exists because of the Rothschild family, the same family responsible for the central bank system that all the Goyim are involved in, and that's how they created the power structure that they have. Okay, so you're supporting a people that wouldn't exist without this, and you will not benefit off of it if you really are Goyim. Mm-hmm. Okay.
America also wouldn't exist without a lot of atrocities either, and I still think America 100%. Should exist. So I'm going to ask you a question now because you keep asking me. Do you think America should be demolished?
No, America should not.
Because they also wouldn't. Okay, so perfect. I agree. So even if you were right, which you're not, but I know every time I try to correct you, you keep forcing me to go back to this conversation. Even if you were right, though, you're telling me, well, this happened and it was atrocious. It was bad before, and you're supporting it today. So therefore, you agree with it. That's as dumb as saying that I should agree with slavery because I support America. I don't believe in this whole like, oh, it's an ethno state. I don't care, dude. Like, I'm not a leftist. Those buzzwords aren't going to work on me. I don't care. Even if it was an ethno state,
you also
which
agreed
is
with
not.
You just did agree
literally
with
a buzzword.
You just agreed that it was
agreed with what?
You just agreed that Judaism is.
I don't. I said 25% of Israel. No, I said Jews are an ethno religion. And I didn't say fair. That Israel is an ethno state.
It's Israel,
so ridiculous.
Is Israel a Jewish state?
Yes, of course. Just like Germany is a German state.
So therefore, Israel is an ethno state.
Perfect. Is Germany an ethno state? Is Germany an ethno state?
No, not by definition. No, it's not. Many people.
Okay, is German? Is 1 second? Is German? Are Germans an ethnicity?
Yes, but many different people.
Okay, Judaism. Are most people? Is Germany? Hold on, I'm almost done, bro. You've asked me all these questions. Just let me ask. Is Germany a German state?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So notice how I asked the exact same questions you asked me word for word. I just
Mm-hmm.
replaced Israel with Germany and Jews with Germans. You answered the exact same way I did.
No,
Do you
do you want to
understand
know
how
what the difference
ridiculous
is?
your point is
The
now?
difference is
Sure, go ahead.
Israel has the right to return. Where if you're Jewish, which you agreed is an ethno-religion, they have the right to go to Israel and take land from people
Mhm.
that were living there before. So Jews around the
That's
world
not what
can go to Israel and they have the right to go there. Even if they've been convicted of sex crimes like Jeffrey Epstein, they could flee to Israel and they don't get extradited to
you think
America.
Jeffrey Epstein fled to Israel?
100% after 2008. You don't know this?
Okay.
What do you mean, okay? You're being
Oh,
snarky, but this
I'm
is true.
talking about right. No, I thought you meant you believe he's in Israel right now.
No, no, no.
There's
After
some people on X that say he is. So I
no,
was
no.
wondering if
Well,
you were one
okay,
of those
yeah, but
people.
after 2008,
Yeah.
when he was convicted of sex crimes, he fled to
I know.
Israel.
I want to go back to the
Hold,
conversation.
wait.
I got you.
No, no, this is the same conversation. The difference between Germany
It's
and
not.
Israel.
I think it's funny when I try to correct you on something, you do not like it at all, and now you're trying to go to. I want to go with.
You
You
brought up the
said that
example of
Jews have the
Germany, so
right
I'm comparing.
to go.
You made an analogy, and I'm correcting your analogy. The difference is
I
they
does
have the
not
right
want me
to
to speak.
return. They believe that they are entitled to this place if they're Jewish, which you agreed is an ethno-religion. Israel is a Jewish state. They have the Star of David on the flag right behind you, even as a goy. This is an ethno state by definition. It's
You
not
know, Islam
liberal.
used the Star of David. Just FYI.
It's not a liberal ideology. That's not a leftist argument. It's something that you have also conceded is true.
No, again, you are forcing me not to answer, but a couple words at a time, and then you say I conceded all these things. I haven't conceded that. First off, the Star of David is used in Christian churches, has been used in Islamic mosques also. Have you ever been to Israel or the Palestinian territories?
Of course not. No.
I don't know why you said of course not. I don't know why that's like whatever. It doesn't matter. Anyways, I've
They've,
been there.
they
This
wrote my
idea that you
names.
think
Of
that
course you have. They wrote my name on missiles. If I go there, there would be major problems.
oh
But
yeah, I'm
Israel
sure.
is
Yeah,
Israel
no. Wait, hold on. Oh,
is a
Jesus
Jewish
Christ.
state. Is Israel not a Jewish state? I don't know why you're like disagreeing with this and calling this leftist. That's the point.
Again, just like I think Germany is a German state and China is a Chinese one, yes, I do believe Israel is a Jewish state. That is true.
Right.
I don't see why that's a problem.
But they
Other
have
than
the
like
right to
America,
return.
Canada, arguably Australia, all of these states by your definition would be ethno states. And by the way, I don't think that's a problem. That's the problem is you think like you're getting me because you're like, oh my God,
I'm
this guy
not. That's
agrees
not
with
the
it. I
ethno state.
don't care.
That's not a gotcha question. These are definitions that we need to clarify.
By your definitions with the questions you asked me, it applies to so many countries around the world. And I think those countries are equally just fine.
The
I
difference
don't
is
understand what
okay.
this hyperfixation on Israel
You
is.
know about the right to return, correct? Where Jewish people are entitled to this land because they're Jewish, and then they have a safe home in Israel.
Some do, yeah.
Who doesn't? What Jews
Not
don't?
really. Yeah, some Jews actually don't. There's actually even pushes for them to take, and I'm not saying I agree with this, but it really doesn't matter to me. Like if someone were to convert reform today, as of right now, it does work. Some are trying to push that out. There's a 1970 addendum in Saudi Arabia. If you want to get citizenship in the kingdom, your mom has to be Saudi. You have to be able to speak Arabic and you have to be Muslim. And that's okay. They're their country. If they want to say, if a country tomorrow wants to say we are only allowing people in that have one leg, I think that's weird, but just for like a hypothetical, if they want to do that, they can do that. If Israel tomorrow wants to say this is what we want for our citizenship, they can. If Palestine ever becomes a second state and they say this is our requirement, then let them do whatever the fuck they want. If America tomorrow says this is our requirement to be a citizen, right? So what? I don't understand what your point is.
But I was asking you. You said that not all Jews are entitled to the state of Israel. The first time hearing that's what I'm asking you. You're
No, I'm saying after the 1970. Right, I already answered this. After the 1970 amendment that they had, addendum, there's some like patrilineals or those that have left the tribe where even if they were like the original point from Ben Gurion was if you had one Jewish grandparent, that was it. And the reason he said that was he was quoted saying that the Nazis determined that you were Jewish if you had one Jewish grandparent. So therefore, that's what we're going to determine. It's been amended since 1970. I'm not particularly saying that's right or wrong. I don't particularly care.
So now it's both your parents have to, your mother has to be. Well, what is the agreement now?
Yeah, you have to identify as Jewish, someone who hasn't left the tribe or denounced their Judaism. Right. So it's not so much based as much on ethnicity, but it still is. And there's some, it hasn't happened. There's some that are also trying to push out Reform Judaism, right? If they've converted via Reform instead of Orthodox.
Kind of
Again,
reinforces the
not for
ethno-state
me to
idea.
say if that's right
And
or
again,
wrong.
yeah, that does reinforce the ethno-state idea you're against. The second one is there's so many. How many people in Israel do you know the stats? How many of them are atheist Jews or secular Jews that don't even really follow the commandments?
Yeah, I'm not sure of that. I can look it up. I don't
Okay.
know the exact number. Do you?
I think it's around 50 to 60%. They're ethnically Jewish, but they're not practicing. So it's a very secular country, and that does reinforce
When
the
you say
idea.
practicing, do you mean like atheists or just like maybe they're not Orthodox?
Practicing, consistently going to synagogue, following the commandments, and
That's
fully beliefs.
that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
That's why it's an ethno religion. That's so they could be practicing. They're just not consistently going to synagogue, is what you're saying?
what I'm saying is the priority is ethnicity for them. As long as they are Jewish by ethnicity, that's what matters more to them than faith. Then Tel Aviv wouldn't be the gayest city in the world. As
Tribe, of course.
yeah. So the Times of Israel brags about how Tel Aviv is the gayest city in the world. They boast about their gay pride parades. Stuff like this is forbidden in Judaism, but it's so accepted in Israel because it's a very secular place. So even though it is a Jewish ethno state, they still allow for so many atheist Jews and secular Jews to practice gay pride parades because the priority is the ethnicity, not the faith.
Yeah, again, there's a lot that actually disagree with that in Israel, and there's a lot that don't. That's why it's a democracy. There are parties that say it's okay, and there are some that absolutely hate that.
It's a
That's
democracy, but
kind of the point.
Palestinians get arrested in Israel if they say free Palestine. The IDF
No, they
will.
don't. I literally have a video on my page at a pro-Palestinian protest in Haifa. They didn't get arrested. They were saying free Palestine. When they started chanting globalize the Intifada, and even still, many of them weren't arrested, just the ones that chanted that, then they arrested them and they were released immediately. But they were put to a stop. But they were screaming and holding signs that said free Palestine. You're literally lying right now, dude.
Well, I just
I was
spoke to
in
two other
Haifa,
people.
which is in Israel.
I just spoke to two, actually, two or three today and three yesterday that said the same thing. They cannot be vocal.
The
about
Tel
this.
Aviv University, the Tel Aviv University had the Palestinian flags flying at a protest, and they weren't arrested. You're saying they get arrested
Well,
just
you
for
were
saying
using
free
anecdotal
Palestine?
evidence. You were saying using anecdotal evidence, saying you went to Israel, of course,
That I
you
have
saw-
a video
and you-
of.
Yeah, of course. Saying that you saw protests. I'm using anecdotal evidence. I just spoke to two or three people, and I think it was two or three yesterday that said the same thing, that they will get arrested and they're under threat if they vocalize the fact
Okay.
that they're
And
Palestinian and they don't say Israeli,
Yep.
and also if they say free Palestine.
And the
So
second
if you're
example I
gonna use-
gave up, you can look up on the internet. It's not anecdotal.
Oh, you presented it as anecdotal evidence. You said-
No, I'm saying the second example I gave was not anecdotal.
Sure.
You're right. The first one was.
Okay. Let's speak about Epstein, right? Because you agree that Epstein was horrible.
I don't care.
You don't care about
Yes,
Jeffrey
he was
Epstein.
horrible. He was an awful person.
Okay.
I don't care about how you keep trying to deflect. I'd like
I'm not trying to deflect.
focus
There's
on one.
Focus on this is all
Yeah,
part of the
you
conversation.
don't let me speak at all. I
You've been
want to go
speaking- you've been
to
speaking
the
80% of the
original
time.
thing.
You've been speaking 80% of the time.
80%. I promise you, it's not been 80%. You have asked almost every question, and you originally brought up genocide. We talked about it for very little, and then you moved on from it. I
Mhm.
want to know why you think it is a genocide today.
Because they have wiped out the entire civilization. They made it clear that they want to starve them out. They're cutting off the water supply. The ratio since October 7th of murder has been 70 to 1. This follows so many definitions that we even looked up.
70 to 1 what?
70 to
70 to
1.
1
They
what?
said it's a war, but the ratio of deaths is about 70 to 1, and that's just reported. It's probably
70 to 1 what? What are you saying? Are you saying combatant to civilian? Or civilian to combatant?
This is why like, you're getting really angry. This is an easy ratio to
I'm
understand.
literally not angry.
This is the ratio of deaths, right? This is why I'm saying it's a genocide, not a war. October 7th, which Israel had foreknowledge
Tell
of.
me what the ratio is. You still haven't told me.
I just said death.
What do you mean?
There's been 70%, 700% more death on the Palestinian side than there has been on the Israeli side. It's been around.
Oh,
Okay, it's
that's
been around.
not what genocide's defined as.
I just cited multiple reasons, and this is part of the reason why.
Can you tell me
you,
why?
Okay, you get angry when you ask a question. When you don't,
I'm literally
and I'm answering your
not
question.
angry.
Okay, but you're interrupting, and I'm answering your question. You said, why is it a genocide? Okay, and I'm explaining. Since October 7th, which Israel had foreknowledge of, it said around 1,000 Israelis were killed. Okay, maybe it was 800, maybe it was 900. They said that there were 40 beheaded babies. That never happened. There was no evidence of this.
They never said that.
Yes, they did. Ben Shapiro was
That
pushing
was
this
a
narrative.
French reporter. That was a French reporter who
Piers Morgan was
misquoted that and was
allegedly saying this.
corrected immediately.
No, it wasn't
Yes,
corrected
they all
immediately.
got that wrong.
Okay,
Yep,
they
it
got it wrong.
was
So the 40 bad
actually.
babies, that was
It
a
was a
lie.
French reporter.
That was a
It
lie.
wasn't by Israel. That was a French reporter who got that wrong.
If you don't
and
think Ben
Israel
Shapiro
was
is
the one
Israel,
that
then that's
corrupted
okay.
it.
That was a narrative. That was a mainstream Zionist
Okay,
narrative at the
great.
time of October 7th. Since then, the ratio of deaths on each
Okay.
side, it's 70
Don't really
to 1.
care what Ben Shapiro says.
You look like you do.